Yeah, so my presentation today is just a bit of general wildlife considerations for woodlot owners when managing their woodlots, and how we help our members achieve their wildlife-related objectives. Just a little background on the co-op. So we're a member-based nonprofit cooperative. I've been here 3 years now, but the co-op's been around since 2016. We currently have 450 members with just over 105,000 acres. And our service area is the 7 western counties of the province, and our mandate is just to provide management services to our members, including advice, forest inventories, management planning, operational planning, as well as marketing wood products. So getting into wildlife in relation to private land management, the first thing to really recognize is that management on private lands is almost solely based on the landowner's values and what the objectives for the properties are. And everybody has different values and objectives, of course. And there's really 2 common objectives related to wildlife that I hear a lot. The first one being to protect and maintain biodiversity in some manner, like by minimizing disturbances around specific features. And the second objective being just to try to enhance those features on the woodlands in some way, through could be through management practices or activities of some sort. But no matter what, everyone's still got to follow the regulations, such as the Wildlife Habitat Watercourse Protection Regs under the Forest Act. There's also the Environments Act. These are just a couple examples of the provincial regs, and then also any applicable federal regulations related to wildlife and forestry. So kind of in the initial stages, once someone joins the co-op, the first thing we do is create a bit of like what we call a preliminary overview report for the member. So that's just a short report style document that contains maps of the woodlot with any information really that we could find out about it. And then at some point we'll meet with the member, go for a walk in the woodlands, and both those things kind of help us to figure out the forest condition and just what might be there. And if we're trying to identify certain habitat features related to planning activities or certain objectives, then there's a few ways we can do that too. We use geographic information system a lot with layers related to wildlife habitat. The province has a bunch of great info on that. We can also use multiple layers for stand types, wet areas, topography, that kind of thing, to try and kind of find out where the habitat that we're looking for might be. And then of course we can also get out in the woods. So when we're out on your woodlot, you can see a couple different indicators of wildlife. The first being some kind of like habitat structure required by a certain species. So here's just a couple examples of those up on the screen. The first there is a cavity tree. So that kind of thing's used by birds, small critters, probably a lot of other things too. And in the middle there, you'll see example, coarse woody debris, so that kind of thing's used by small mammals, that sort of reptiles. And then the last one there is just a water feature or water course in this example, which could be home to fish, amphibians. Reptiles use it. They're also really frequented areas by mammals and birds. And then sometimes when we're out there, obviously we can find and identify the critter itself. So here's just a few pictures I wanted to add in of some of the ones I've seen. First at the top there's a northern flying squirrel, barred owl, and a nighthawk. Then at the bottom there's snapping turtle, a bobcat, garter snake, and then off to the side there you can kind of see them, but there's 3 bear cubs in that tree. And then sometimes you got to look really hard too, of course, and read between the lines a bit, and often do a bit of a double take. So here's just kind of some far away versus up close examples of those instances. Got a northern flicker nest in a stump, flying squirrel in a cavity, an ovenbird nest in the grass. We'll also draw on any resources we can find. So once a specific species or feature is identified, we use the best management practices, or BMPs, for the situation. The BMPs in the province's Field Guide to Forest Biodiversity Stewardship is mainly what we use at the co-op. And if there's species at risk, there's a lot of great federal resources out there too, federal and provincial websites and online information on that, and it's also listed in the BMPs. We also collaborate a lot with other organizations. So as Abby mentioned, like we work on quite a few projects with MTRI, other landowner-based organizations, sometimes with government biologists, other forest professionals, or conservation organizations. And then at the management planning stage, we use forest management plans to kind of guide the future management decisions on the property. So these plans kind of outline the landowner's objectives, forest condition, significant habitats, any unique features or species that might be present. Kind of provides these locations on the maps too. And they always also provide information on recommended best management practices and any further actions. And MTRI sometimes also offers biodiversity assessments to some of our members in addition to these plans. This is just a really detailed survey that they provide with recommendations on sustaining or improving all these features. At the operational stage, so when we're working out there, getting people in the woods, we use buffers or special management zones to minimize disturbances around some of the significant features like watercourses, wetlands, springs and seeps, nests and dens, that kind of thing. We also locate any locations for the legacy clumps, find legacy trees, and then kind of give special considerations. Some of the extra things like extending buffers, planning for the time of year, so some landowners might want to observe a singing season, and consider connectivity for wildlife, retaining any prominent features like mass trees, cavity trees, that sort of things. And we make a map and add all those features to the map. So there's just an example of that. And then we try to portray all this information to landowners or people doing the work through providing operational work orders and maps with all these things. And then we maintain consistent communication throughout the duration of the harvest activities. And just to end off the presentation, I see I only got a minute left here, so I'll try and make it quick. There's just a few general considerations. So the first being to consider just the amount of diversity on your woodlot. Diverse forest structure provides a lot of different habitat for a lot of different species, of course. And another one is just a lot of the times forest management activities can be used as a tool to achieve some of your wildlife-related objectives. And then to consider the long-term benefits of managing for wildlife on your woodlot and how it benefits the health of the forest ecosystem as a whole. And just a few tips are to take the time to really get to know your woodlands and what wildlife does use it and where they use it. Develop your objectives specifically based on what you have there, so the forest conditions. And then there's a ton of resources out there now. MTRI, government resources, so just make sure that you're taking advantage of all that info. And that's it. Thanks.